Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Today is Thursday, November 19, 2020. Al Jazeera report. U.S. health agency urges Americans to stay home for Thanksgiving. The top public health agency in the United States has recommended that U.S. citizens do not travel during next week's Thanksgiving holiday to mitigate the spread of the coronavirus as cases of COVID-19 spike around the country. Postponing travel and staying home is the best way to protect yourself and others this year, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC) said in new guidelines published on its website on Thursday.
Deutsche Welle report. EU leaders clash over Hungary and Poland budget veto. European Union leaders argued at a summit Thursday over Poland and Hungary's attempts to block the passage of the EU budget and coronavirus rescue package. The two holdouts reaffirmed their position at the video conference. Leaders agreed to park the dispute and hand it over to experts to find a way forward. Germany's Chancellor Angela Merkel said the bloc means, we have to continue talking with Hungary and Poland.
Al Jazeera report. British writer Douglas Stewart wins UKs Booker Prize. Scottish writer Douglas Stewart has won the Booker Prize for fiction with Shuggie Bain, the story of a boy's turbulent coming of age in hardscrabble 1980s Glasgow. Stewart won the prestigious £50,000 $66,000 award on Thursday for his first published novel. He was the only British author on a US-dominated list of 6 finalists for the prize, open to English-language novels from around the world.
Fox report. Pack of wild dogs that killed Florida man remain on the loose. A 65-year-old Florida man found dead in Jackson County this week had been mauled by a pack of stray dogs, according to local police. Donald Ray Allen's body was found on the side of a road in the Bascom area near the Alabama state line. Allen was reportedly out for a walk when he was attacked, according to the Tallahassee Democrat. Upon completing a thorough investigation, it was determined that the subject had been walking in the roadway when he suffered life-threatening injuries from an animal attack, the sheriff's office said.
BBC report. Obama memoir. What he really thought of Putin and other leaders. A Promised Land sold nearly 890,000 copies in the US and Canada in its first 24 hours, a record for publisher Penguin Random House. It is expected to become by far the biggest-selling presidential memoir in history. In the book, Mr. Obama recalls his travels around the world as the 44th US president and his meetings with world leaders. So who made a good impression and who didn't? The Eton-educated conservative who served as UK Prime Minister from 2010 to 2016 was urbane and confident and had the easy confidence of someone who'd never been pressed too hard by life.
BBC report. Tyson food managers bet on workers getting COVID-19, lawsuit says. The lawsuit, filed this week by the son of an employee who died with COVID-19, claims the company demonstrated wanton disregard for worker safety. Isidro Fernandez, who died in April, was one of more than 1,000 workers infected amid the plant's outbreak. Tyson has called for an investigation. In a statement, the company said it was extremely upset about the accusations and that it had suspended the individuals allegedly involved without pay.
Fox report. Legacy of socialism. State violence continues in Belarus. In Belarus, government security forces continue to abuse, arrest, and torture pro-democracy protesters as mass demonstrations became an almost daily feature of life in the country after authoritarian President Alexander Lukashenko won his 6th term in a widely disputed election more than 100 days ago. A recent video shared online captured just one instance of the government's violent crackdown on dissent, as state police in balaclavas beat protesters in a supermarket in Minsk using batons.
Fox report. 2 married Texas ag prosecutors shot, one fatally, at their El Paso home. A married couple in El Paso, both prosecutors whose work involved child support cases, were shot at their own home over the weekend, as investigators continue to piece together the details of the incident that happened in the city's historic Manhattan Heights neighborhood. Authorities have yet to identify a suspect or release many details about the case, but Saturday marked the second fatal incident at the couple's address in the last 2 years, according to El Paso Times.
CNN report. The surprising reason why Apple was so gung-ho about its 5G iPhone. Verizon and Apple are teaming up on another sales pitch for the 5G iPhone 12, and this time, they're aiming at business customers. The two companies held an event Thursday to showcase several ways businesses could benefit by using the iPhone 12 with 5G, 5G has higher bandwidth than existing networks, making it possible to have many more wireless devices performing data-intensive activities, like video streaming, in one small area such as a factory floor.
CNN report. Death toll climbs in Kampala as protests over Bobi Wine's arrest continue. 16 people have been killed in Kampala in 2 days of protest over the arrest of presidential opposition candidate Bobi Wine. At a press conference Thursday, Uganda Police's chief pathologist Moses Bayiranga said 14 of the fatalities were caused by gunshot wounds. The death toll only includes victims who were brought to the city's mortuary. At the same press conference, Kampala Metropolitan Police spokesperson Patrick Onyango said more than 300 people have been arrested as protests continue.
Deutsche Welle report. U.S. election. Trump invites Michigan lawmakers to White House. U.S. President Donald Trump invited lawmakers from Michigan to the White House Thursday, according to reports in various U.S. media outlets. It is the latest move in a bid to overturn the result of the presidential election. It comes just hours after Michigan's largest county said it could not revoke its certification of election results, as the two Republicans on the Electoral Commission who approved Biden's local victory wanted to revert to their initial stance of refusing to recognize the vote tally.
Fox report. Brexit negotiations suspended after official tests positive for coronavirus. As if the Brexit trade negotiations were not tortuous enough, the coronavirus added a twist at a crucial stage on Thursday when top-level talks had to be suspended because an EU negotiator tested positive for COVID-19. It added uncertainty to the negotiations as a deadline looms ever closer and both sides are still divided on 3 key issues. EU chief negotiator Michel Barnier said that together with his U.
CNN report. Boeing's 737 MAX debacle could be the most expensive corporate blunder ever. The 20-month grounding of the 737 MAX could end as soon as this week, but Boeing's mounting costs have soared to tens of billions of dollars. That means the plane maker's repeated safety oversights and mismanagement were not only tragic but also rank among the expensive corporate mistakes in history. The 2 fatal crashes that led to the grounding of the Boeing 737 MAX killed 346 people. Financially, Boeing continues to pay a hefty cost to ensure the safety of future 737 MAX passengers.
BBC report. Coronavirus. Europe faces 6 tough months of pandemic, WHO says. Hans Kluge, the WHO's Europe director, said the continent recorded more than 29,000 new COVID-19 deaths last week. That is 1 person dying every 17 seconds, he told a briefing on Thursday. However, he said new cases were declining as lockdowns curb infections. As a second wave of the pandemic gathered pace in October, most European countries reintroduced strict restrictive measures to stem the spread of the disease.
Al Jazeera report. Partisan politics shape COVID-19 response in U.S. Midwest. Minneapolis, Minnesota. On Saturday afternoon, Tori Van Oot visited the recently opened COVID-19 saliva testing center at the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. After following well-marked free parking instructions, the Minneapolis resident arrived at a station, demarcated by plexiglass, where she spat into a cup, while surrounded by fellow residents doing the same. The whole experience car to car was 47 minutes, Van Oot told Al Jazeera.
CNN report. Working from home is a boost for a desktop phone company. With many people working from home for the foreseeable future, and perhaps forever, you wouldn't expect a company that still makes desktop phones to be thriving. But Avaya, a communications services firm that caters to businesses, is doing just fine, thank you. That's because Avaya has made a transformational shift to focus more on the lucrative business of cloud software and less on clunky hardware.
Deutsche Welle report. Coronavirus. Ireland plans mink cull. Irish authorities are planning a nationwide cull of minks over fears the animals may have a mutated version of the coronavirus previously detected in Denmark, an agriculture ministry spokesman said Thursday. Testing of Ireland's mink herd so far has yielded no positive COVID-19 tests. However, the Department of Health issued a statement saying that the continued farming of mink represents an ongoing risk of additional mink-adapted coronavirus variants emerging.
Thank you for watching 5 p.m. recap. To be notified, you can subscribe our channel and activate the bell.